Hey everybody, it's AP Queen, and today I am going to be kind of doing a conclusion to my registration week videos. Now, I don't have the final one up right now, but I will soon. So I know that registration week was, as you saw, it was pretty crazy for me. And these past couple of weeks have. In fact, I've been going through a burnout, and I'll talk about that at the end. But so let's just go over my decision. Originally, start of the week, I knew that I was set on taking 7 APs next year. Sad, like hardcore. And dude, my stomach is like freaking out right now just from thinking of it. But I think in the back of my mind, I knew that a less busy schedule was better for me. You know, I know me, and I know what I look like when I am just doing my best, which is kind of a 3.0, a 3.0 GPA. And I was going for like a 4.35. So that's a pretty big gap, like kind of impossible. I also have a very artistic side, and the artistic side wouldn't be pleased at all by the other schedule. And I would kind of just be like pushing myself down into these little boxes and not being water and being like flowy and like if somebody throws a rock at me, I'm gonna survive. But if somebody throws a rock at a pane, yeah, like a pane of glass, that thing's gonna shatter. Like shatter. So, I ended up making the decision to take honors English, honors math, AP World, AP Chem, PE, and health, dance too. And right now, I am pretty sure that I'll be taking advanced, drawing and painting. But I could have a study hall. I'm like in that in between state, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up taking advanced drawing and painting. And here's why. Like I said earlier, I'm not naturally good at school. There are kids who are in my chemistry class. They never had to try for their grades, like having a 4.0, until they were a sophomore, which is what grade they're in now. And I'm here, and I've been trying since 6th grade, and you don't know how much of a toll that takes on a person. Constantly making yourself sit down and do work and all that, while these kids are just doing nothing and they're doing fine. They study for like an hour and a half, they're fine. Guess what? That's how much I studied just to be okay when I was in 2nd grade. Just to get B's. Just to get B's. So there's a huge difference. So what I'm guessing I'm admitting to is not being the sharpest tool in the shed. I did not have the highest IQ. Not at all. But I'm willing to work hard. And I just had to adjust. Like my memory, my sister, you can tell her something now, and in 6 hours, 3 days, she'll still know it. Me, you're lucky if you get half an hour. So there's a way wider difference, really big difference between the two of us. And I had to adjust for who I am and who not other people are. And that was a very important thing for me. Another thing was stress. I'm a naturally anxious person, and I want everything to be perfect. That's something that came with skipping a grade. I had to get a 4.0, and I'd been getting B's and C's, and I had to get a 4.0. So being a perfectionist came with that, and with anxiety, that causes stress, especially when it comes to school, because you can't be perfect at school. You can't always get 100, especially when you're a freshman in high school who's taking some sophomore classes. Not possible. You can't always get 100, and sometimes you just have to give. So that was part of it. Pride and Prejudice. You're like, how in the world did Pride and Prejudice have a part in this? So over the break, so I had registration week, and then I had a break. And after that break, my form was due. And over that break, I read the whole entire book of Pride and Prejudice, because I had to write an essay on it for English. And in that book, there's this girl who's thinking about, should I marry for love or should I marry for money? And she ends up in the end deciding to marry for love. And Jane Austen was So I had to do a thematic essay on this, so I wrote it up, and I totally hated the book. But at the end, Jane Austen, who's the author of the book, said that it's better to marry for love than for money. And I mean, in the back of your mind, like, that makes perfect sense to somebody nowadays. But back then, it was against the paradigm of the time, you know? And now in school, this is my thinking. My paradigm is I have to take 7 APs. I have to be perfect. But what's best for me is to not. And that took me a while. Like, that week was hard for me. Extremely hard. Like, I ended up battling with myself a lot. That was Pride and Prejudice. Um and like that just kind of really resonated with me a lot. And this is gonna sound weird, but like my English teacher, I think he purposely chose that for me. Because when I asked him what book should I read, because we had like different different book choices, he chose Pride and Prejudice, and he knows me, and that's probably why. So yeah, like following your heart. And then I also have another thing these past couple of days about what classes I should take. Because I know my schedule, like, but then I have, like, I was just gonna, my plan was to still be a good student, but to really, so I'm in counseling, and I'm kind of an on-off switch. I'm one thing or another, and I'm kind of window panes. I have boxes for everything, but we decided to throw everything and turn it into water and just let it flow, so that way if somebody throws a rock at me, I'm not going to shatter, and that will hopefully help with my stress. Right now I'm kind of stressed, and part of that was following my heart, not the most easy thing as you would think. So imagine taking everything you are and just drawing water and saying, okay, what am I? I'm a student, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, and then letting all of that mix. So being an artist and still being a student, okay, take an art class. Being a writer and being a daughter, hang out with your parents while you write, that kind of stuff. But also finding the middle ground with studying, which is not easy for me because, like I said, I don't know if I said this, I'm addicted to school. I'm addicted to getting 4.0 and being okay with not having one. That's why I didn't do a retake on math test and why I have a B in math, and we're dealing with it. So following my heart, and I mean, I still sometimes want to suppress my artist side because in my brain, I think that I cannot be an artist while being a good student. Because in my brain, artists are not good students. They're not the student who walks into class and is extremely bright. They just aren't. But that is possible. And I'm learning that. It's just taking a while. And so with part of giving me the ability to be flowy and to study when I actually want to study and that kind of stuff, it showed how much of a burnout I'm in. So normally with burnout, you'd feel really guilty about not studying and all that, but I don't feel any guilt. I mean, I want to watch Royals, I'll watch Royals. I want to make a video, I'll make a video. I want to go to Young Life, which is surprisingly one of the few things that I really want to do. I go to Young Life. Young Life is this church affiliation thing that I do, and it's on Monday nights, which is tonight. I just got back when I started making this video. So it's a lot more flowy, and I have a lot more choices. But one thing that's really kind of form is I have burnout, like horrible burnout. And burnout is from working way too hard. I think it started back in 6th grade, which is where I worked so hard to have the study skills, and then I had to like keep them up. And then I didn't have summers because I was trying to get up to par with kids that I was going to school with. And then I decided that I wanted to be valedictorian, so that caused me to go like crazy. Burnout. Working way too hard and not having any breaks. Also not showing that you actually accomplish things can also cause burnout. And so I have horrible burnout, which means I do not want to do anything. But luckily, you know, I'm coasting. Burnout has been interesting For example, I had a foods test today. Studied for probably 5 minutes and almost got 100%. Like, one question wrong out of 75. Like, that's pretty darn good. Spanish test. I have to admit, I'm a little bit freaky, but I know my grammar. I know the concept. I'm not the best at the facts, but concepts, I can do. And that's what my Spanish teacher wants. Like, but that's also what's important in Spanish, is that you know the concepts of the grammar. You know the concepts of the way things work. And I know those because I pay attention in class and ask a lot of questions. So I know that I'm okay with that. But like, there's things like math homework that I should probably be doing right now. I don't really want to do it. I don't really want to do it, in case you couldn't hear me. And that's burnout. So it's really testing my limits. I had another point like this in Q3 of last year. I swear it went on for a month. Like a month or two. I'd come home, read some, and then, go and do some homework every once in a while when like it was urgent. And that's kind of how it went. No idea how I got the grades I did when I was in that time. No idea. Now I'm hoping that this burnout will be done by finals week. Fingers crossed. And hopefully I'll be able to do okay. You know what? We're not going to think about the future. We're going to just focus on the now. So yeah, that's just been kind of my past couple of weeks. So yeah, bye.